We're in the kitchen. This may be the first time you've seen the kitchen. I have actually been doing these videos for, I don't know, 50, 60 videos. Oh, and the kitchen is featured a few times. A cup of tea. I'll show you around the bungalow in a second. The reason I'm doing this today and not an allotment program is because the weather is awful outside. I've actually got the light on. It's so dark and gloomy outside, and it reflects obviously inside. I've had to put the light on to do the video. So I thought I'd do a quick catch up on what's going on in my life, and I'll touch briefly on why I stopped doing the video diaries when I did. For those of you that haven't gone back, oh, and thank you all those that have started subscribing, I really appreciate it, and watching and commenting. It really does help. It just makes me feel that I'm actually doing something that's worthwhile for once. For those of you that are quite new to the diaries, I am in my 60s. I've been recently divorced. I do have health issues. I've got heart disease and I have mental health issues. I get very anxious and upset very quickly. During COVID, we went through a really bad time in my house with stress, no income. We had to be helped by food banks and other charities. And to be honest, it was a devastating time that brought out the worst in me. As a result, I am now single, although I do stay in touch with my ex-wife Sarah and my children. Now, what happened during that period when I was making diaries, I got very depressed towards the last few because I lost touch with my children and my friend Sarah. And it was over something stupid, like something that nobody else would give two thoughts about, but up here, of course, it developed into something that was really drastic. And I went and I did my usual getting upset, anxious, and I broke off discussion and conversation with my children, especially my daughter, who's the apple of my eye. And it really hit me hard, and I got depressed. Felt like there was nothing worth, going on and doing the videos for. And that's basically one reason why I stopped doing videos. I'm happy to say that we've overcome those issues and we're all back together and enjoying each other's conversation. And we occasionally go shopping and things together, which is great. They come over for like a little time at Christmas. We exchange gifts and we're still friends. One of the other reasons why I did stop is because the allotment site where you've seen me isn't very pleasant. It's extremely badly run, and I'll cover this in a future video about allotments, because I'm interested if you've got an allotment or a similar, who runs it? Is it well run? Do you feel as though they've got your interests? I can absolutely 100% state that the interests of the people that run that site aren't really into allotments or the welfare of the people on there. And there's a lot of people down there that I really wouldn't have the time of day for. Some of them will nod, some of them won't even nod. They'll just turn their back on you and just carry on with what they were doing. It really is that type of place. And there are toxic people down there. People who really... Actually, I'll say this, the most toxic people have left. Now, if you go back and look at one of my previous videos, it will show you that I got really upset with one person. The neighbour to my allotment on the next one. Ironically, he gave it up that year. I think a lot of people gave him a bit of cold shoulder about the way he was treating me and other people. And he eventually left. And but there was another one, somebody that I called a chum, that actually gave me a really hard time at the beginning of last year. I was actually going to start the videos again beginning of last year, but this person, this chum, gave me a real hard time, and it was all over a very simple thing. The allotment become vacant next to me, didn't have a person on, and there was some iron and bits and pieces on there, and this chum from another plot decided to make use of them. And I said to him at the time, I don't think you should do that. I think, you know, you should actually just leave them, because they're not yours. If people started taking stuff off other allotments that they thought were empty, there'd be all sorts of confusion and this, you know, like issues. And he was actually a parish councillor and on the allotment committee as well, to make it worse, setting a precedent, giving other people a reason to have issues with him. And as he was a chum, I said all this in the most nicest terms I could. And he just turned around and said, oh no, another councillor said I could. And I thought, oh my goodness, so this other councillor also has an allotment there. So I actually went over and I saw him in the street, actually outside. And I went across and had a chat with him. He said, oh no, I don't know anything about that. I certainly did give him permission, but what can you do? People take stuff. Anyway, next thing I know, I'm walking back from the allotment a few days later, and this first guy, the one that took these pieces of iron, scaffolding tubing, you know, to be exact, approached me in the street and started shouting and swearing at me, and, you know, idly, I won't say he threatened me, but he was coming out with comments like, you'd be better off if you kept your nose out of other people's business. Maybe that is a threat. And of course, me being full of anxieties and issues, and I hate confrontation, I can't deal with it. Well, that stopped me going down the allotment for a month. So I had all my seeds, all the peas were ready to go out and stuff. Didn't do it, they all died. They all sat in the greenhouse or outside the back, and they all died. I just couldn't face it. And that put me off going down the allotment for months. And it was only because another neighbour came and knocked on the door, who also has an allotment down there. It's partners, I nearly said husband and wife, but they're not married. Partners who live in one of the other bungalows just across the way. She came and knocked on the door, said, come on down, you know, don't let them worry you and stuff. So I started going back down. I got back into it, and I did actually have a few good harvests of various things. I mean, I'll talk. Hang on. Do you want a treat? This hasn't changed. This is still here. Come on. Let's see if I can get her up here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh no, she's run outside. Look. Pixels is still kicking around. There she is. There she is. You want this? She has to have it thrown to her. She won't take it out of your hand. And this was because when she was a kitten, I gave her it and she dragged it out of my hands and she started to play with it, you know, like it was a mouse and scraping it and stuff. So I started throwing it to her, and now she won't actually take it from your hand now. It has to be thrown to the ground. Yeah, so what are we talking about? Oh yeah, this guy swearing, cursing at me in the street, and I couldn't go down. Neighbour came across and took me down there one day, and I got back into it. A lot of the things that people were saying weren't what was it? Pollinators. Everything that wanted pollinating, fantastic year. Strawberries, fruit, peas, beans, all of the pumpkins and such, like the squashes, all pollinated beautifully. I kid you not, 8 and 9 foot tall seed heads of parsnips. Yeah, 8 or 9 foot tall. I couldn't believe how tall they were growing. And there were like, I don't know, about 100 seed heads, and there was about 1,000 seed heads. There must have been close to 1 million seeds. I have got a Quality Street or Heroes box tub full to the brim of seed, and that was just a part of it. You've seen the videos, hopefully the previous video showing that I've still got parsnips, volunteer parsnips coming up all over that area. It's amazing. So yeah, I did enjoy that, and they were beautiful flowers, and they were so covered with pollinators. And this is very early on in the year, so if you want pollinators on your plants, just let a few parsnips go to seed the next year. Absolutely incredible to watch, it really was. Yeah, so what else? So let me tell you a bit about what's happening in my life. First of all, I still live in social housing, still unmarried, alas. The social housing landlord fitted us with solar panels. I got 8 solar panels, which produce enough electricity to reduce my bill to about half of what it was, which is great because we've got air source pumps, which are the old style, which aren't very efficient as the modern ones tend to be. And before, when I was getting £5-6 heating days, the most I've had this year was when it was in the minuses, this cold part of the year. We got to a £4 year, but I also had the washing machine on and a shower and cooking obviously as well. Okay, first of all, a big confession. I'm no longer a vegan. For those of you that were following me because I was a vegan, I'm sorry. I'm not happy with it, but during the depressive stages, I started eating chocolates for the the kick, the happy kick from chocolates give you. And after that, I realised that perhaps the bland, difficult to produce food meals that I was cooking, it's not easy cooking vegetarian, vegan meals for yourself. You tend to batch cook 10 at a time, put them in the freezer, take them out. So you get a lot of the same food. And I realised that trying to eat that was probably depressing me even more. So I started to buy various different types of food, including eventually meats. So I tend to have meat now with my diet. I'm sorry. Mostly chicken. Sorry, chickens. I'd love to keep chickens. I love chickens. We used to have chickens at the old family home. They've still got chickens at the old family home. And I did build a run for my friend Sarah, so they could actually go out. But of course they have to be all these bird flus. We had to do a cover on it and everything. Anyway. Yeah, so let me quickly show you around the bungalow. So this is the main living room. I was fortunate to be given both this two-seater and the settee and the recliner, electric recliner. Getting a bit long in the tooth now, but still really comfortable. And 2 different neighbours gave me these. I go out and, as I mentioned in the previous video, I cut the grass, keep the pavements and edge all the paths and keep all the leaves swept up and things, and people appreciate it. So while I'm out there working, they'll go and give me things. So I've been given all of the bedroom furniture. We'll have a look in the bedroom in a second. So absolutely fantastic. What I do in my life is I watch TV. I don't have TV aerial, which is over in that corner. It's a communal area. I just have streaming services, so I don't actually pay for a TV license. And of course I get the TV license letters like monthly saying I'm going to be prosecuted. I do all of my photo film editing there. I'm getting ready to actually launch this film. Cupboards. I brought a new table and chairs. The chairs look lovely, but they're really uncomfortable. So if you sit on them for a long time, you do need to have a cushion there. My little computer room, as you see, I've got a lot of fridge space because of all the things I get for the allotment. I play computer games a lot of the time. There's 2 computers. All these screens don't belong to the same computer. There's 2 computers. One of them is over there. It's a backup. The main computer is just sitting there. And as I mentioned, here's the bedroom, which I'll show you in a second. I brought the chainsaw and the the hedge cutter that take the same batteries as my strimmer and lawnmower. I also brought a carpet cleaner as well. I still use the foodie, not as often. I brought a Tassimo so that I could make my daughter hot chocolates and things. She doesn't drink that much tea and coffee, but she does like the Costa ones that Tassimo do. And I got a soup maker as well. So I like my gadgets. Yeah, so that's it. Life goes on. I brought a new microwave. The other one went rusty. And that's a £19.99 what do you call them? Air fryer. Very cheap, very economical, easy to use. So that's it. Hang on a sec. There we go. So that's an update on my life. Hopefully we'll get back out into the greenhouse at least and start sowing. I've seen a lot of people start sowing their seeds this year. I've seen a lot of people with heated greenhouses sowing their seeds this year, and I'm jealous. But the amount of money it must cost to get those greenhouses to a temperature and keep them that temperature, they're probably costing more than the cost of me actually heating my bungalow. Yeah, even she agrees. So I have to wonder. Well, no, actually, I don't want to do. I mean, one of the biggest issues is that I don't do. What's happened to my eyebrow here? I don't do my allotment for the results. No, I do it for the enjoyment, the mental health rewards, the exercise, the thing to get me out of the house and actually have some sort of life instead of just sitting there playing computer games or watching Netflix or whatever. So I can understand then people actually wanting to spend a lot of money on heating a greenhouse to get an early start because it's their reward, it's their enjoyment, it's their hobby. But yeah, I wish I had that money. I wish I had money to actually have a heated greenhouse. Right, that's it. Thank you very much indeed. Please click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Do comment below about anything that you would like to know or have suggestions for me. And hopefully next time we'll be out on the allotment again. So take care, keep warm and dry. Bye-bye.